नमोलोए सब साहुरमि मंगलम भगवान वीरो मंगलम गौतम गणि मंगलम कुंद कुंदात्यो जैन धर्मोस्तु मंगलम सर्वमंगल्य मांगल्यम सर्वकल्याण कारकम प्रधानम सर्वधर्माणां चैनम चैतु शासनम चैनं चैतु शासनम चैनं चैतु शासनम मोक्षमार्गस्य नेतारं भेत्तारं कर्मभूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये. Okay. So we all have started this journey, and this journey is to make our lives more meaningful, to comprehend the world around us in a better way, and to bring the peace within, right? This is the simple agenda. Anybody who would start on any of the journeys of life, even if I'm becoming a nature enthusiast, if I am going to sports, if I am going into theater, drama, music, if I'm doing my business, I'm choosing any of the profession, the underlying belief is that it will make me happy, right? And because we all have different backgrounds and we have tried and tasted different things, and we concluded that, oh, this was not the answer. So we are now trying to have taste of spirituality as propagated by the great Jain Tirthankars, right? And so the underlying thought is that, there is some higher authority, there is some greater form which we can accomplish, we can become, or we can look up to. And there are some problems, the ground level problems, which are putting forth challenges in front of us on day to day basis, daily basis. And now we are trying to figure out that, okay, these are the problems, and this is the solution that I can perceive. And this whole journey of contemplating the problems, the miseries, the fears, the pains, and their answers as we discover in our own way, this whole becomes the journey of a spiritual person. So it's not that, it's one of the course that ठीक है चलो हम we will learn about Jainism, we'll see what Tirthankaras have told us, and therefore we are here out of our curiosity that what Jain philosophy says. We are here. It's a very personal journey. We're not here to learn. We're here to seek answers. Correct? That goal should be simple. I do not have to become a scholar of Jainism so that I can be invited to different platform, different universities where I can talk on the teachings of Mahavira. No, sorry, I'm not here for that. I already have my profession. I already do certain things in my life which require my devotion, my time, right? Through which I earn my living. Correct? So, our aim to join this course, our aim to learn is very personal. It is not to be enlightened by the intellectual jargons of the Mahavira's tradition. No, I'm I have certain questions and I'm trying to address those questions, and I'm thinking that I will be, my questions will be respected and they'll be answered. This is the intent. Okay, everyone. So, first, after in first four chapters, we've decided that, okay, this is the type of God to which I will bow down to. A Vitragi Sarvagya God, the passionless, the God which is from free from aversion, attachments, a God which knows everyone, everything, all happenings of this world. That God is only a God worthy of being called happy God, happy person. So I have decided that I am going to bow down to a Vitragi and Sarvagya Bhagwan. Correct? Correct. But now, bowing down is not enough. Gratitude is not enough. Even the contemplation, the invocation, the qualities that we are trying to invoke within us, the affirmation, they are also not enough. It requires a deeper type of thinking, strategic deep dive. It will require that, okay, what are the basic problems of my life? And therefore, after figuring out whom to bow down to, the next step is the person to whom we are bowing down to, what is that person saying? And in that journey, we are starting with the very first chapter, which directly deals with this problem of life, the problem of uh, 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 the mundane living. That, okay, what are the issues which are there, which are actually putting us into all sorts of trouble? So this whole journey starts with this simple topic. This can be regarded as the first entry point into spirituality, this thought. And we'll see why this thought is so important. It's lesson number 5. I'm sure about Dev Darshan, about Tirthankar and Bhagwan, about Ramokar Mantra and Chattari Mangal Path. Those were totally based on, how we choose to express our gratitude and our desire. So our desire is to be the best version of ourselves. And our gratitude is that, okay, I'll take out time and I'll choose a place where I can have highest amount of concentration. I can focus well on the qualities of my deity, right? So that's what we did with Namokar Mantra Chattari Mangal Path. That's what we did. They like identifying who our Bhagwan is, the qualities we seek in Bhagwan, and who Tirthankaras would be. And then that's how we decided that, okay, while going to the temple to do the Dev Darshan, we have to keep in mind 3 things. First, we are not carrying our house along with us when I'm going to the temple. So, it does not, our whole uh, accumulated reality. It rests here. So if I'm entering a space where I want to, I'm hoping that I'll lighten myself. The first word is nissahi, that I will leave the worldly thoughts behind. Then I'll do the darshan, I'll do the parikrama, I'll do 9 times Namokar mantra. That is the second part for which I came to take inspiration. And the third and most important part would be that, okay, not just to tell Bhagwan how great he is, but also to listen to Bhagwan to realize that, oh, he is actually great. This is what he has told me. To do swadhyaya, to do contemplation, to do the thinking, the thoughts that Bhagwan gave us to ponder upon. So that is the whole process of Dev Darshan, which we all did. Now, what Bhagwan is saying, now we are on that stage where we are not admiring Bhagwan, but we are with all our attention listening to what Bhagwan is saying. And he's starting with this simple one concept. He's saying the living and the non living. There are two people who are talking. One is Hira Lal, the other is Gyanchan. Hira is, it's a jewel, it's diamond, okay? So the one person is from the party of non-living. Diamond is precious in amongst all the non-living things, the most precious thing. So he's representing the non-living world, Hiralal. And Gyanchand, so Gyan is the consciousness. So Gyanchand becomes the representative of all the living things. Okay, so these two people have their interaction. So Hiralal is saying, how sweet is my name? Certainly, like how costly, how precious is my name, Hira. Ganchan. Yes, sweet it certainly is. Though a diamond is valuable, it is lifeless. Would you like to be transformed into a non living? And that's a simple question. Let me ask this question to each one of us. See, it's a simple question. See, uh, yeah. Okay. So there is on message, there is a request that we'll do the meaning of Moksha Marga Sinetaram as well. We'll do it at the end of this session today. Okay. Let's contemplate this. Just imagine. I have this pen in front of me. You all can see this pen. What if this pen slips off my hands and it falls down? Okay, the ink of this pen will come out. It might even break down, right? If I have this phone in my hand and it slips off while I'm driving, it slips off outside the car, it might even, get damaged, correct? But will you call ambulance for this pen or this phone? You will be sorry. You'll feel bad, but not for the pen, for yourself. Not for the phone, but for yourself. Correct? So there is this classical question, very simple question. Had I been given a choice that I can either be a fragile living being or a non living being, which state would have been a better state of being? A state where I am a pillar on which this whole building stays together, stays put up together. This strong pillar made up of concrete and steel. No worries, no complaints, no pain. It is not going to get tired. It is not going to endure any pain. It is just going to be. It will exist. It will exist. In the same way, I will also exist. I am the person who lives in this house on which the house which rests on this pillar. I become the person, the reality who lives in this house. So I am also a reality, and this house is also a reality. This pillar is also a reality. This phone is also a reality. They both are existing beings. We both exist, correct? Given choice, in its existence, there is no pain, there is no exhaustion, there is no trouble, no fog of thoughts, no tension, no worries of future, no regrets of past, nothing. It's a simple, plain living. It is just existing. I am also existing. Just as much as this phone is existing, I also exist. I am also one of the product of this nature. This phone is also made out of everything which nature has made. Though we are calling it man-made object, it is not man-made object. It is assembled by man. All the objects which it has are made from the elements which are natural in essence, right? Correct? So you did not craft anything. You did not make anything. We were good with, experimenting and doing trial and errors and mixing this with that. So we made alloys, we made different types of materials. But every material, the part of the human intelligence is only that it could mix up the two or multiple materials. We did not bring the ingredients along. Ingredients were presented by nature, correct? So anything which we see, everything and anything that we see is natural, correct? So the natural existence is two types while it shows its existence. One, it is also existing. I am also existing. And I am time and again complaining that why its existence is so sorted, pain free, worryless. It has none of the desires, it has no fears, no pain, no aggression, no attachment. And I have to bear everything, all spectrum of emotions, whole spectrum of emotion lies within me. So now I'm asking to everybody, given choice, would you be a lifeless object and just be, or would you be object filled with life and endure pain and suffering and exhaustion? Either ways, you're going to exist. Either ways, your existence will not perish. Here, it is a very smooth journey. You do not decide whether you want to be a pen or you want to be melted into a different object. You want to be a ring or a gold biscuit. You do not get that authority. You just be gold. And then whoever finds it will decide what you will look like. And you will not care. You will not be happier when you're a necklace and you will be sad when you're ugly gold bar. No. You will just be as gold when you're a necklace as when you'll be a biscuit. Correct? Yes. So your existence will always be as true as the existence of this being. So when we both have to exist, and when we both cannot decide to cease from existing, we cannot destroy ourselves. If that is the reality, then which form of existence would you rather be? An existence where you have no clue about your existence, or an existence where you know about your existence? You're conscious about you being. Yes, 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 yes.
I would say conscious.
Why?
Well, you go through different states, and you have the
Simple, simple.
possibility to achieve
Do you
something
want to
higher.
be happy or not? Do you want to be
Mm.
happy or not?
I want to be.
You want to be happy. Correct. And what are the reasons that are making you unhappy?
Uh, my own
The
aversions
worries,
or so.
yes,
My
your worry,
bondages.
your uncertainty of future, what might happen, what will
So,
happen, about the things which we have and their conditions, that why it is not happening the way it should
Mm,
happen.
mm.
Correct? So all the desires, they all are breathing out of the consciousness. Had you not known about you being or about anything being, you would have not never suffered out of that consequence. So the knowledge itself is being the reason of our unhappiness. So why not to be happy? Should we go knowledge free?
Mm. I guess knowledge is also the reason for being happy. So if we have knowledge, we can choose the right path, and then it will lead us to the true happiness of Vitragi and
But
being
it
a
is also
Sarvagi.
leading to pain now.
The pain the non-living being can destroy, so they can't stay, but something has been destroyed. So whenever anything get destroyed, it get pain, correct? So
That's what. See, if this is made up of glass, it
yeah,
will fall down, it
yeah,
will break into pieces.
yeah,
It has to fall down.
yeah.
And if I am made up of this body, this is also fragile. There will come a day where I will also wither. I will also
Mhm.
perish away.
True.
Correct? We both have to die.
Yes.
Its death is going to be painless. My death is going to be ugly. So I'm asking you, it's better to be a glass than to be a body. Better to be a glass and then get broken into pieces and not suffer than to be a body and age and suffer.
Mm.
Anubhaji, I think this goes back to the question I was asking maybe in the class before around, with all this teaching, are we trying to move
Mhm.
towards Jad rather than um, Chetan? So
Yes, yes,
very similar,
yes.
and I'm very interested to kind of know this. Um, I would have said being a Jad would be better because yeah, with all because you would not suffer or you will not you will not know if even if you are suffering, but maybe it's because the judge thinks they cannot do anything about the suffering, so they are suffering, but if glass is broken, that it cannot do anything about it. It will not be able to improve its life and maybe try not to get broken.
Mhm.
With Chetan, probably we have an option. Yeah, there will be dukh, but we have an option um, to not get dukhi. So with with Jet, they have absolutely no option. So whatever is happening to them, it will happen to them. They may not feel it, but they cannot even improve their existence by overcoming that. Maybe consciousness will help us um, either overcome it or just let it go, sort of thing. So yeah. Probably.
Great, great. So
Just
yeah, so
guessing.
there is the case for being judged, being lifeless, being without consciousness, being non-living. The case when we have a overview, when we take a look from a very far end, it looks appealing that yeah, had I not, if I did not have this memory of past, I would not be suffering of that incident which happened with me long back. But it haunts me even today. I beg that I forget it. See, people, when they endure a very tragic incident, we advise them, okay, go back to sleep. Make him sleep, yaar, please. Right? Why? What are we trying? We're trying to let their consciousness be away from registering that tragic incident again and again. Correct? So
Mhm.
you just sort of try to do things that you put you away from that knowledge. If there is a tragic news, have to break to somebody, I would be very reluctant. I would be very hesitant to even break that news to them. I don't know how to tell them. They're so happy without knowing it. And I know if they know it, how broken they would be. So the knowing becomes the reason for our unhappiness. Is it? This is the question. Okay. Yes, Richaji, please.
No, I was just saying that the Jud does not even have the ability, right? So this is the question of ability. At least as a Chetan, I have the ability to know what is right, what is wrong, what is sukh, what is dukh, and I can do something about it. The Jad has no such ability, so its existence is really like I mean, it has no ability to know what is even right or wrong, or what is good or what is bad. So I would prefer still to be a Chetan with the ability where I can change things on my own.
Brilliant, brilliant. See, that's what. Let's all get on this point together, right? See, in business we say no risk, no gain, right? So either you can live a very mediocre life of jerd and be completely unaware of the happening of yourself, of surroundings that surrounds you, or you can take this bet, and it is now a complete pure bet. What bet it is? If you become conscious, it's a bet. If you become conscious and you master the art of consciousness, master the art of knowing, you will be happy infinite. But if you mess up, if you do not understand the art of knowing, then there is misery out there for you. It is a gamble. Only a person who knows can suffer, because only that person can be happy. I cannot please this pen. I cannot make this phone happy. Do I charge it to 100%? It will feel good. Do I adorn it with a beautiful cover? It will be flattered. What should I do? What should I do to appease it, to make it feel better? Okay, it's a both way. The swing does not go up and does not go back only when it is not moving. If you push it towards going up, then it also has to go back. It's a two-way journey then. You cannot just say that, okay, my swing will only go up. It cannot happen. So consciousness is a very tricky business. What is being said is a conscious being is aware of his reality. Because he's aware of his reality, he has now unlocked a superpower that he can be happy. But he can be happy. This superpower, if I have blade in my hands, I can chop the vegetable. I have knife in my hand. So I have a power that helps me in cooking my food. But what if my mind goes off and I hold knife like this? I now have a more uglier power. Then I can also hurt somebody. I can also kill somebody. So the knowledge is a double-edged sword. It can help to make us happy if used cautiously, the way it should be used, like that knife. And if we do not know how to use it, it will become the invitation to all sorts of possible worries, worries which will never, no sane mind will say that it even can happen. You sometimes you imagine and be scared of such possibilities which even are not possible. Aisa ho gaya to what will happen? And we imagine such ugliest situation. We think of such like the reality which will never happen. But a person who is hallucinating, a person who thinks too much, that person start building the reality which is not even the reality. He starts hallucinating, he starts seeing things, right? So this consciousness, people would say that it is because of the consciousness that we are unhappy, but Tirthankar Mahavir Bhagwan says it is the consciousness because of which we can talk about happiness. There is no happiness. It's a double entry business. No pain, no gain. If you cannot suffer, you do not get to be happy. Because we can suffer, the suffering is not the problem. Suffering is the proof that we can be happy. Because I do not like the state of suffering. Means I know that what state I like. If I know that I like, it means that I'm destined to be happy. So this very thing, therefore, there's this one thing I think we all must take note of is knowledge in Indian tradition is always associated with this one thing. We call it Anand. Have you heard about Anand? So in Hindu tradition, you go, the Atma is called Sat Chit Anand. You break it down. Sat means it exists. Even the pen exists. So pen is also Sat. Okay? But this pen does not have Chit. It does not have consciousness. It is not Chaitanya. So it is Sat, but it is not Chit. And because it is not Chit, it does not bear the fruits of Anand. It cannot feel joy. It cannot feel happiness. So our existence is defined by these three words. Sat means I am. Chit means I know I am. And Anand means what a privilege, what a joy it is to be what I am. Three layers of reality. The first layer is that I am. Second, that I know I am. Chit. Okay. So Sat is to exist. Chit is to know that you exist. I know, therefore I am. The famous quote. Yeah. Sat, I exist. Chit, I know I exist. And because I know that I exist, I know such great. Now, it's simple thought, simple thought. This pen exists. It exists or not? It exists, right? And even this body exists. Okay, okay. Let's burn down the pen. Okay, it will cease to exist, or it will now exist in the form of ashes or melted metal or a different shape. Will its existence go away or it will transform? It will transform.
Transform.
Similarly, if this body is burned, it will turn into ashes. It will not cease to exist. It will exist in the form of ashes now. Everyone, everyone. So the common thing about Sat is that it exists regardless of the form it takes over. Correct? The consciousness knows that, okay, I exist. So the basic rule governing the existence will also apply to this conscious being, because these two, the living and the non-living, the Jad and the Chetan, the knower and the known, they both are part of this world, the cosmic reality. This world has two types of things, living things and non-living things. Everybody, am I making sense? Okay? So first, let's only pick up the existence problem. So if I exist and this exists, I do not know much about my existence, but I know a lot about its existence. I know it exists, but not in the same form forever. It will keep on changing its form. And because the existence has this quality, then I also conclude about myself that I also exist, but not in the same form forever. Correct? Yes, everyone. Correct. When you know that you exist and you know how to exist, how the existence functions, then you do not associate yourself with any form. Just imagine if this pen knew of its existence as a pen. When you break it, it will have to suffer because it is not a pen anymore. But it does not because it still exists. But I have identified myself as Anubhav, and I'm saying I am Anubhav. And there will come a day I will not be Anubhav. And that day I will suffer because I know I exist. But I do not know the type of existence which I am having, the style in which I exist. I exist eternally, but not in the same way. I am perpetually changing. So the moment you realize, I'm changing the subject over here, everybody, please, please, please. You said that this pen did not know about its existence and therefore it cannot feel joy, it cannot feel suffering. Everybody, sure? Correct? Because you said it is not conscious. So if you're breaking this glass, it cannot help itself. Okay? Now, I'm saying I am the glass, I am the conscious glass. Okay, I am the conscious glass. I know that I am the glass. Can I now, with the superpower of my consciousness, change the fate of being broken into pieces? My knowing the reality will change the reality? No, it will not. So, it not knowing about its reality and I knowing my reality does not change anything about reality. But it changes hell lot of things about my happiness. My joy is stopped by this desire that it should not change. My phone should always remain intact, same. Its color should not change, its glass should not get broken, it should never be stolen. So my suffering is not is rising out of not understanding the nature of reality. So it's not that consciousness has power to change the outcome, but it has the power to accept the outcome. That acceptance is called anand, that I demand nothing from this world. I see it as it is. I accept things as they unfold. So, in Hindu tradition, these three words are very important. Sat, to exist; Chit, to know that it exists; Anand, to know that it's not your responsibility how world is functioning. So you you free yourself from that burden of that responsibility of maintaining the world order. It's not your job. Your job is to know, and it's such a great job to do. You become audience. If you've become audience, you've come to enjoy show. You clap, you enjoy. Do not try to tell the light boy that okay, you did not start the light, the mic boy to check his sound system, the director, how did you write the script, you did not direct well. Do not become a critique. Enjoy, be audience. You've come here for entertainment, be entertained. Correct? So, what in Hindu tradition we call Satchidanand, in Jain tradition we call it Jnananand. मैं ज्ञानानंद स्वभावी हूँ. Gyan is knowledge, Anand is Sukh. So there are two parities which go along. Where there is Gyan, there has to be joy. Where there is consciousness, there has to be joy. If there is agyan, where there is ignorance, there has to be suffering. So agyan ke saath dukh or gyan ke saath sukh, they always walk hand in hand. And therefore, even if I'm given an opportunity to be a lifeless object, I would very humbly and respectfully say no to that situation because out of the fear of suffering, I will miss out on the possibility of joy. Because it is true that it does not suffer, but it is also true that it will never be happy. Yes. Anybody who has a question? Yes, Kapilji,
I do.
please.
Yeah. Anubuji, I keep wondering what is the definition of happiness? So we keep talking about happiness. So is happiness absence of suffering is called happiness, or is mitigating suffering is called happiness, or is happiness a third thing, which is something? So it's like darkness and sunlight, right? So is that the absence of sunlight, you would call dark, or the other way around?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
because we do say, we are getting happier, but, our Maharaj and monks and sadhus, they are happier, but also they are taking daily suffering with, suffering in our sense, so they are not eating, they are not kind of, living the life. So so are, are they really happy, or the definition of happiness is now being changed, that, well, actually, if you do take these sufferings, then you'll be happy? So what is the definition of happiness? If I'm liking something now, if my atma is happy about something, that I bought a new car, is that not happiness? Is that what, you know so yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. See, the example which has been given in scriptures and which we can realize. See, if I have dug a hole in a ground, okay, I've made a pit, okay. So this is the pit I made. And now I am putting back the soil into the pit. And I'm now covering the pit, okay. So I dug it and now I'm covering it. Okay. So am I doing anything which is extra? Like, am I making a hill out of it? Or I myself dug the ground from deep down and now I am just putting back the soil. What am I doing? I took out the soil from the ground and then I put the soil back into the ground. Nothing new happening, nothing, no add-ons are happening. There is no improvement in the ground. I'm not putting extra soil onto already leveled ground. I'm not doing that. This was the leveled ground. I dug it deep. I took out the soil and now I say, no, no, it is not looking good. I will now put back the soil again. Okay. This is the example which is being given. What we are saying is, I told myself, I dug the ground that if I had a car, I would be happy. I dug it. If it was 2000 years ago when the cars were not invented, nobody would have wanted a car because there was no dugging of the car happening. At that time, people would want that, okay, maybe I should have a Rath, I should have a Viman, something different, right? See, I only knew of the watches which are simple, which are, you find in India like simple watches, like, you put a battery, you get it. So I just wanted a good watch. And then I was exposed to this whole world of automatic watches, luxury watches. Suddenly. Now I had a leveled ground. But now, because my consciousness was exposed to a certain type of reality, I said, why should I not have that reality with myself? So I dug, I made a pit in my consciousness of desire. So digging it the soil out is the desire. And now every day I am putting extra penny in my savings so that there will be a day I will have that watch. So every day I am just filling this pit again. It is not an add-on. I created the suffering and then I said, I give myself challenge that if this happens, I'll be happy. So I made my happiness delayed. I said, I will not be happy unless I get this. So you ducked it, you robbed yourself of contentment for that duration. Every day you tried, and then on the last day when you have had it, you said, oh, I am happy now. What is the add on? What is the add-on? You created that space within you, right? So in scriptures, the example used is of um itching, right? So if I have itchy feeling in my, like if I have some sort of itchiness in my shoulder, what do? I feel like I should scratch it. I should scratch it. You know, the more I scratch, the better I feel. So does scratching make you feel better? Yes or no? Why are you not scratching right now? It's not scratching that makes you feel better. It's the itch that makes you feel suffer. And that suffering gives you the illusion that you do something and you do not know what to do. So you start doing scratching. And sometimes you scratch so hard it starts bleeding from there, from that skin part. Correct? So the sukh, the happiness which arises out of fulfillment of desire, is called illusionary happiness, because this happiness is very artificial. It is not an add-on, it is not an accomplishment. You first created that hole of desire. You first created the wound of itchiness in your hand, and then you started scratching daily. And you said, oh, I feel better because I scratch. If you're scratching, you're not better. So if the happiness comes out of fulfillment of desires, we do not call it happiness, we call it mitigation of suffering. So, not suffering is not happiness. Happiness is the independent state of mind where your mind is self sufficient. So, happiness is not a very flowery feeling. I will ask you, are you happy right now or not? You will say, I'm not feeling anything. Not feeling anything means you're at rest. You're at rest means you are at peace. You're having no desire, nothing. This is the happiness state has been advertised in such great fashion that we have treated the being normal, which was the simple, a state in which you are contented, you are at peace, you're okay with your reality, you're okay in terms with your life. That space of contentment is called happiness. But we have glamorized it so much that happiness is having, like, when you're walking, you're smiling like this, all your teeth are visible to everybody, you have 10 people walking behind you, paparazzi coming, all the phones and cameras all around you, and everybody's taking your autograph. This is not happiness. This is digging that deeper hole. And to maintain that lifestyle now, to maintain that name, you're going to suffer hell lot of sufferings because you chose the wrong definition of joy. So in Jaina tradition, knowing is synonymous with happiness. Gyan Ananda. Knowing, if I know that this is how it is, I'm at peace with it. So if I have a balloon and I see that balloon is here, and then suddenly some child comes and he pinches into that balloon and the balloon bursts out. I know that it's a balloon, it had to burst out. There is no problem. But if it's the LED light which is in your ceiling and it suddenly bursts out, you will get scared because you did not anticipate it, you did not expect it, it doesn't happen. So you'll not be shocked. You'll be at peace with a balloon bursting out. You will just hold your baby close and say, oh, it's okay. No, nothing happened, beta. The balloon went off. But if it is something that you did not anticipate, you did not see it coming, your fuel tank of car burst off, then you'll be scared. How did this happen? It never happens because there you're not in terms with reality, with the outcome. So happiness is being aware of what all can happen. Correct? So this is the first question which is being put forward. This is the argument which is being raised. Though a diamond is valuable, it is lifeless. Would you like to be transformed into a non-living? This is the basic question. Are we willing to not know? Are we ready to not know? I don't think so. That's a healthy choice for any conscious being to make. And with Buddhist philosophy, that is the problem. So, Buddhadev, when he defines nirvana, Bhagwan Gautam Buddha, when he defines nirvana, he says a lamp, diya, a lamp A lamp is burning only as long as it has oil. Okay, the flame will live as long as the oil exists. Correct? The moment the oil goes off, the flame goes off. This going off of the flame is called nirvana. Means as long as the consciousness is there, there is a thought. So the moment your consciousness goes off, there is no thought. That no thought becomes nirvana. But that is suicide. That is the end of the existence. If end of the existence is nirvana, then my religion is of death. To be happy, I'll have to die. I do not want to die to be happy. I want happiness, but not at the cost of me losing my existence. So that's where Tirthankar Mahavir Bhagwan differs from Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha's nirvana is a no self state. Bhagwan Mahavir's nirvana is a state which is without passion, filled with consciousness. I am aware of everything, but I am in complete agreement with that everything I know. And therefore, there is no disagreement, there is no sorrow, there is no problem, no pain, no suffering. That's how you become Siddha. Siddha is a state of pure consciousness which is in terms with reality itself. Yes? Okay. Mihir bhai.
Yes, Anubhavji, just to add to what Kapil was asking, basically,
Yeah, yeah.
we looked at what is happiness and what is what is illusion of happiness. But I have another question which is regarding basically you are exposed to so much knowledge that comes your way through different means, right? So now that all is actually leading to illusion of happiness. So that effectively is a gyan. How do you
Yes.
distinguish what is gyan for you and what is a gyan for you so that you stay away from a gyan and continue to keep building gyan because that is what is leading to your path to happiness, right? So, I mean, the belief is whatever is new to you is knowledge and is gyan, right? I mean,
Yes.
that may effectively, but effectively is all leading towards what we say is towards creating the pit for yourself or the illusion of happiness. Now, how do you distinguish that?
That's a very practical question that, there is so much of data, so much of advertisements being thrown at us, so much of new things are shown, and everybody, like, no matter what I learn and what I do, if I have to earn my living, ultimately I have to sell something. Either I'm selling products or I'm selling myself, my thoughts, my ideas, my talks, my book. I become a writer. I am a businessman. I sell products. If I'm a consultant, I sell my ideas. So I'm constantly, I'll have to sell. And to sell, I'll have to project. If I have to project, I have to expose my product offering to the world. So you cannot stop advertisements from happening. Either a person, you open a newspaper and you'll see an advertisement of a doctor's clinic which has recently been opened, or you'll see the advertisement of a school, or you see the advertisement of a great offer on cars, on phones, on electronic items, and daily groceries. So all these things, everything will have to bear the knowledge. You cannot not see what is being thrown at you. That is the one thing. The second thing is the inner discipline. That knowing is my part. That to know whatever is being thrown at me, I have to know it. I will myself know it. But indulging with it, mending with it, that okay, do I need it? Do I want it? Is where the self discipline will come. It's not that easy, matlab, to know and to not want. Everyone is here to sell and they will do every, like, like we discussed in the last class. In earlier times, people were attacked because the people were food. Okay, so a lion would attack me because I was living in jungle and that's what the life and survival was. In this new age, we are not attacked by lions, but our consciousness is attacked by all these advertisement companies, all these companies which have to sell stuff to us. And what is being attacked is the self control. How easily can I be convinced that I am devoid of these things and I need these things to be happy, right? And therefore, we all are contemplating that what are the things we actually require to be happy. And that's why we are having all these sessions and discussions and with, on this journey to learn the path of Mahavir. Because Mahavir Bhagwan, say, if you ask, he says, go with aparigraha. You do not need anything to be happy. But that is a very extreme thing to say. I at least need a shelter. I at least need clothing. I at least need food. I at least need family. But now the discipline would come where we will try to make our own arrangement. Because for me, maybe a few lakhs of rupees would be sufficient. For you, maybe few crores. For somebody, he would not even be contented with 1 billion rupees. Correct? Everybody has different scale of desires, different scales of contentment. This in this journey, we'll have to come in terms with our own understanding of what is enough for me. And that's how you create a bar. Otherwise, the desires are infinite if we do not create that bar. So what you're asking is that how do we not want, or in this world when we are exposed to all these things, how do we control ourselves? It will only come after evaluating that, what is it that fits the right fit for me. And that's how it happens. Okay? We'll be doing it while we'll be digging deeper and learning about the 5 sins. And then we'll be learning about how to counter those 5 sins. But from the very super, like while we are just starting with this conversation on spirituality, the first topic is that I am conscious means I will be aware of the reality, my reality as well as the reality of the surrounding. Okay? If I am aware of this, can I, with this awareness, be happy or do I suffer? This is the question which we have right now. How to control or how to master this consciousness will be a different topic altogether. But first, acknowledging the problem. We are the giant mirrors, okay? And the mirror's work is to reflect. But out of reflection, have we also become the judges, the critiques of the scenery which we are making? Correct, everyone? Okay? We'll just have a quick read of this chapter and then we'll come back to this point again on consciousness and how to give it a direction. So, would you like to be transformed into a non living being? We will not. We certainly will not. Hiralan, what do you mean by the living and the non living? Gyanchand, don't you know the living beings? You are yourself a living being. One who knows and perceives is a living being. So the definition of a living being is a one who knows and perceives. In other words, who possesses the power of perception is a living being. So we are not judging a person by his heartbeats, but by his art of knowing, that he knows, that defines the living being. Hiralal. And non-living, Gyanchan, that knows not and possesses no power of perception is non-living. Both you and I are living beings because we possess the power of knowing. Diamond, gold, silver, table, chair, etc. are non-living as they do not possess the power of knowing. Hiralan, what are the other signs of the living and the non-living beings? Gyanchan, the living beings feels pleasure and pain, whereas the non-living beings does not. We are living beings since we feel pleasure and pain. The table and chair do not feel pain or pleasure, and so they are non-living objects. Hiralal, our eyes see, our ears hear, and the body feels pains and pleasures. So is our body a living being? This body? Ganju. No, the eye never sees and the ear never hears. The seer and the hearer is our soul, quite separate from them. If the eye and the ear possess the power of seeing and hearing, A dead body should also see and hear. So the body is non living, and its organs, eyes and ears, etc., are also non living. Hiranand. Now I have understood that I am a living being, that the body is a non living, that I am possessed of the power of knowing, and that the body does not have this power. I know the body does not know. I know the body does not know. Gyanchand. If you have understood the difference, please tell me whether an elephant is a living or a non living being. Hiranand. Like our body, the bodies of the elephant and other living beings are non living, but their souls are living. I have understood all this. But please let me know what benefit is derived from this knowledge. Why are we learning this? Gyansham. Without knowing this, we cannot have a correct understanding of our soul. And without such understanding, we cannot attain real happiness. Since all of us wish to be happy, we should have this knowledge. We can ourselves attain godhood by understanding the reality about the living and the non living. Okay? Simple things. 3 points again. The definition of Jeeva, the living being. The one who knows, who perceives, and who feels pains and pleasures. जो जानता है, देखता है, सुख दुख का अनुभव करता है, उसे जीव कहते हैं. The one who knows, perceives, and feels the pains and pleasure is called living being. Okay? Fine.
People in
Understood?
coma are still living, but that's like um, upward as such.
No, 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 no.
Brain
So
brain
again,
dead, or people who.
it's again the extension of what you asked. You said that how do we
Hmm.
define pain and how do we define pleasure? How do we define suffering? So is pain alone the feeling? If I do not have a headache, I do not have any stomach ache, if I do not, my back doesn't hurt, does it mean that I am not suffering? So pain is not always physical. Pain is what is felt. Sometimes everything is good. It's a good day. Everybody is today. There is a function in your house, but you feel heavy somehow. Your mood is not good. You don't know why. But sometimes you do not feel just right. Correct? So a person, even who is in coma, is feeling something. We don't know what he's feeling. Even he does not know his thoughts. But it's not about thoughts. It's about feeling that weight. It's about feeling when we feel and we do not know why we feel the way we are feeling. Sometimes people feel like crying, and somebody asks that why are you so upset? I don't know. I don't know why I am upset. Correct. So it's a feeling, means to feel means to know that something is not right, to not just be okay with what is happening around you or with you. So we cannot conclude about even the people in coma or brain dead people, even the ekindriya jivas, do indriya jivas, three indriya jivas, all these jivas, the most common thing about them is pain. And this is such an important thing. Consciousness means knowing, means perceiving. So Gyan and Darshan, they become knowing and perceiving power. Okay, everyone? Okay, this is important. Consciousness decides our identity, our nature. But feeling pain and joy decides our ethics. So if I break this phone, police will not come that I have hurt this phone. But if I have misbehaved with you, not physically, I'm guilty of a crime. I'm liable to be punished. So crime happens when a living being provides hurt to another being. You have to hurt the sentiment. You have to hurt the person, not the property. The owner of the property must complain about it that you have hurt it. theft has happened, a robbery has happened. It's not the things which are robbed, which are offended. It's the owner of all those stuff who is offended and who has raised this complaint. So all the crimes, all the sins, all the paps, all the ethical drama kicks in the moment we take into consideration this feeling. So I will become guilty only when I have hurt you. So Gyan and Darshan is my identity, and it's the pain and joy which is crafting the whole justice system of this world. So if accident has happened, the car is broken, nobody is worried about the car. People, first question is, what happened to the person who was in front of the car? Next question, what happened to those who were inside the car? And if they both are fine, okay, fine, thank God. Now let's see what we have to do. And the legal battle will start. Otherwise, there will be medical battle first, that whether we can save any of these people or not. Correct? So a crime will lose its identity if nobody's feelings are involved. So if I do not feel cheated, I cannot accuse you of cheating me. Though you have cheated on me. It's okay, you have cheated. If I do not feel cheated, you're fine. It's not a crime. If I do not know that I have been lied, if I consider it truth, then you have not lied as yet. But the moment I know that, oh, you have broken my trust, you've lied to me, then it becomes a crime. Understanding? So this second trait of this definition of Jiva, it's a wholesome definition. The Jiva's definition has 3 points. It knows, it perceives. Perception is like the canvas. Knowing is like making images on that canvas. So you cannot draw something in thin air. You need a canvas. So perception means darshan. Darshan is the canvas. And on the canvas of darshan, the Gyan paints all the imagery. So all the images are painted on the, so इसलिए darshan पूर्व ज्ञान होता है. You know after you perceive. The first is perceive. Did you see? What did you see? So the knowledge process goes like you perceive, then you know. And once you know, then you feel. So the third part of the knowledge is feeling, good or bad, suffering or pain. Understood? So the definition of Jeev or living being is the one who knows, perceives, and feels sufferings or joy is called Jiva. Okay? That is the first part. Second, is body living being? Because everybody will consider body as living being. This is what we learn in our school elementary classes in the chapters of living and non-living being. I am living being. This is non-living being. This is what we are taught at schools. Correct? Here it is not working like this. Let's say we have 27 people around joined on this meeting right now. Okay. I have been from last about 1 hour speaking. Correct. I have not stopped speaking. I was speaking. Can you say that all the words which I spoke in last 60 minutes, you heard them all? Sometimes, so you did not close your ears. You did not close your ears. The words reached your eardrum, but the receiver who is there inside was thinking about something else. What may be checking on the notification which came on the phone, was called by somebody, had a background noise, something fell down behind, and the words did not stop. Words did not stop reaching your eardrums, but the listener was not present. So the speaker was there, the words were there, the ears were there, but the listener was not there. That listener is living being, not the ears, not the words, not the speaker. Getting it? Sometimes it happens that you're riding your car, you're seeing everything, yet you're not seeing everything because you're in that cloud of your thoughts. So your eyes are open, And there is your son sitting and he's saying, Papa, 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 Papa. And you're thinking something. And after 2, 3 times you have heard Papa, were you saying something? You then click. Because your ears were not closed, but the one who listens was not present. Your eyes were not closed, but one who sees was seeing something else. Yes? So that person who actually sees, who actually listens, who actually tastes is the living being. These are just the windows. These are just the instruments. Just like you do not see with your specs, you see with your eyes through specs. Similarly, you do not see with what specs, what glasses are to your eyes are to your soul. It's simple. Okay. What glasses are to your eyes, the eyes are to your soul. So eyes are the glasses of the soul. So therefore, it is being said, it's now becomes the distinct the ground for Bhed Vigyan. Okay, the discriminative science. What is being said is, am I living being or non-living being? So generally, everybody will say we are living beings. But a person who listens to Bhagwan Mahavir will say, my soul is living, my body is not. So is monkey a living being or a non-living being? Monkey's body is non-living, monkey soul is living. Is elephant a living being or non-living being? Elephant's body is non-living. Elephant's soul is living. When you see yourself in mirror, do you see living being or the non-living being? You see the non-living being. Yeah, because you see the body. But who sees the non-living being? The knower. The living sees the non-living. Okay, everyone? So this was the second part, which in Balpothi, when we do, like for pre-primary kids, we do it in 3 ways. मैं जीव हूं, I am soul. मुझ में ज्ञान है, I have knowledge. And मैं ज्ञान से जानता हूं, I know with my knowledge. शरीर अजीब है, शरीर इज नॉन लिविंग. शरीर में ज्ञान नहीं, शरीर डज नॉट हैव नॉलेज. शरीर कुछ जानता नहीं, शरीर डज नॉट नो एनीथिंग. करेक्ट. सो आई एम नॉट द बॉडी, I am soul. This becomes the first lesson in Jain spirituality, the distinction between the body and the soul. While I was overjoyed looking at this property that I have such great house, Bhagwan Mahavir says, wait, wait, wait. You're saying you have a house. I'm saying you do not even have a body. So I have a house. Forget about this. Is a very big. This is a very big illusion that you have a house. The first illusion itself is that you have a body. The body is different. I have a soul. I am a soul, and this is body. And the soul and the body, they both are separate. Okay, everyone. Okay. I'll tell you one gatha of Acharya Yogindu Dev. जीव जुदा, उद्गल जुदा, यही तत्व को सार. जीव जुदा, उद्गल जुदा, यही तत्व को सार. बाकी जो कछु और है, याही को विस्तार. Acharya Yogindu Dev in his scripture Yogsar, he says that the body is different and the soul is different. This is the whole essence of Tattva. All else, everything else is just an extension. There is nothing else in spirituality. There is this only one thing: the living is different from the non living, the soul is different from body. Okay? Any questions? No questions? Should I ask a few questions? Hmm. Okay, simple question. ठीक है? We learned that non living And the living things have this fundamental difference of consciousness. Fine, correct. If tomorrow we develop a tech that, if you have a robot with you and if you turn it off, it starts crying, it feels pain, it just says, no, that I do not want to sleep, I do not want to be. And when you instruct it something, it might feel that, okay, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. A robot which starts feeling, basically, will that be considered living or non-living? The intelligence, of course, artificial, if it grows to a level that feel, it can begin to feel, will that not shatter our all beliefs about the soul and the body?
No, because it will still be an artificial sense of feeling rather than the actual feeling.
What will be the difference?
It won't be feeling. It will be expressing the feeling that what it could mean artificially rather than
So
you
it
know
will be,
uh,
it will be what? Yeah, so it will be artificial. It means what? It will be what?
it will be doing as you
Yes.
told, just like you tell your mobile currently to switch on, switch off, play,
Mhm.
mute, etc. So it will be doing the same things. It doesn't mean the phone is starting to feel that I'm being told to shut up or I'm being told to speak.
It will be just an imitation
Imitation.
of, yeah, sorrow. It will be a better actor. And just ठीक है. But what if it actually starts feeling pain? What if, something, it develops that, it might start feeling offended? What if it starts actually having its own opinions and its own um, joys and sorrows? What will be the problem? Will there be a problem?
We will enroll them in Parmangam honors as well then.
Okay. How many of you see that as a possibility that can happen? Simple thing.
I think it
Even
has already
machines.
happened. I
Yes, tell me. Yes, yes, yes.
I think it might has have already happened, but they're hiding from us. So that's a possibility as well.
So if it happens, then like, why would they hide it from us?
It has already happened, and they might be hiding from us. And why would they hide from us? You're
Hmm.
asking.
Yes.
Because nobody is probably ready for it.
So what happens if, let's say it's a possibility, then what happens about this whole interaction which we did? What happens about the spiritual journey that we're trying to see? Then it will prove something very different and something very contradictory to what we're talking about. That's what I'm asking.
I think
So
this
how will we digest that fact then?
I think like you raised a very valid point. Like this is few months back, but there was like a Bollywood movie which was on that same concept of the robot had feelings and was able to interact, give you support, and say you're transitioning to a new country, but then you won't be able to differentiate. And it's just like you have Chetna, as you explained through the stages of you are feeling pain, but you also have the possibility to express fully joy. But within that robot they probably wouldn't have, but it's a good thing that you raised. I don't know, I'm contemplating, thinking over it.
Nagoji, if a robot can feel different things in the same situation, then I would think it's as good as humans. So it's basically a
Yes.
human. If a robot is programmed to react or even feel the same way in that very situation every time, then it's still a robot. So if you're saying they can now miraculously feel differently for the same thing, same situation, and think and maybe do something about it, then yeah, I think they are humans. Basically, they it's no different from what we are, that way. But if they are programmed and they can only exhibit a emotion in a situation and maybe not do anything about it, so they can feel pain. But if they cannot, attend these classes, or try to get overcome with that, and control those, then they are still robot.
Okay, okay. No, so like what would it mean for us if that happens? My worry is that what would it mean with us?
So can I add some highlight, because I'm very interested in this topic. So
Yeah.
and I belong to this field to some extent. One of the thing I learned is, so these
Uh-huh.
robots and AI are nothing but the data we feed, right? But the problem with the
Hmm.
data is it has less of the data, that data you're teaching us, but it has a lot of bad data. So I think it has to be trained with more of concepts like Jainism, so that it works more toward helping humanity rather than otherwise. So currently, the I'm of course guesstimating and estimating lot of data in the internet where it is trained off is completely opposite to what we are learning here.
Yes. So what does it mean to us? I'm more concerned about what if the machines learn to imitate us to an extent that it becomes for us very difficult to find out whether it is a machine or a human being that I'm talking to. If that happens, then we would just be machines, right? What science is already saying and has always been of this contention. There is no soul, there is only brain, the networks, the signals which are sent through neurons, and it's just a function. What Charvaks are saying, that Panch Bhuta Tattva have uh, come together to create this body, and we are just a bubble. That's it. As long as the machine goes, we are running. So all these talks about karma, karmic consequences, the next birth, the four gatis, the 14 gunisthas, the Siddha Dasha, everything will become just a hoax. Okay, I'm just trying to have a simple, concerned discussion with all of us. Kirpaji, you were saying something.
I was just going to say that at the end of the day, we have Atma, soul, and there's no robot that can be created which will have that. So that will definitely distinguish us from them, even though it may perceive that they have feelings. And if for instance that robot was going to be crushed, it would break, it would. And I know that I guess that could happen to us as well. Like if something was to happen to us, our life would end and that would be the end of it as well. But we have the soul, and that is very different to you can't recreate that.
But
But
what
how
is
do we know
soul?
that we have the
What is
soul?
Atma?
It is just a trained discussion where the words have been put in my mouth that I am a soul. We just read a chapter and he said that Gyanchand is telling to Hiralal whether you know what a living being is, and Hiralal saying, no, no, I don't know what it is. Tell me about it. So then Gyanchand is telling him that he's soul. Hiralal does not know that he is soul. What if Gyanchand is wrong? What if there is no soul? Because we are of the opinion that soul is there. So it has been written in that way that okay, soul is there. Like I'll tell you a very interesting fact. So Raja Shrenik had one of his wives called Chelna. Chelna Rani was devotee of Jainism, and we hear great in great words about Chelna in our Prathamanyug literature, right? Rani Chelna was like this, was like that, was like this, what like that. Correct? You take out the literature from the Buddha tradition, okay? Raja Shrenik is contemporary to Buddha tradition as well. He also converted to Buddhism as well. Then he later on came back to Jainism, whatever. We all know its story. And in Buddha tradition, you know what the Chelna is called? Chelna, there is no queen called Chelna. There is a queen of Buddha, of Rajashreni, whose name is Chalana. Okay? And she is the devotee of Jainism. And then she is a villain over there, just like we have a villain, the Rani who was following Buddha tradition. You're getting, so history, when it is written, it is always from the point of view of the writer, right? So when I'm saying, I'm believing that soul is there. So the person who has been reading me will always have this vocabulary developed that, oh, I'm soul, I'm soul, I'm soul. But it is because in my tradition, people believed in a concept called soul. But when the science will be writing papers, when Charvaka would be writing papers, they will just refer to as lives, human lives, the humans. And the humans are doing this, and humans are doing that. And there is no notion of soul. What topic, the discussion that we are doing today is very crucial because now we are creating in this one singular identity, we are doing the binary operation in this. So there is this one body has two parts, one the knower, and the other is the instrument of the knower, the body through which we know, and the knower is the soul. Correct? I am saying, what if the humans can create a machine which can completely exhibit the same behavior to an extent that you cannot distinguish between a living human and an artificially created human? Would that not imply that we all are nothing but the machines in ourselves? Yes, this is my concern. And if that happens, then all the best to Parmagam honors course.
I want to add
Hmm.
one thing, so because this is going interesting. So, that raises the same question: Are we in simulation, and are we like some AI project for someone else?
So that's what this is why I'm asking this question because you just shared a few links. Google fired the person who said that okay, AI is developing feelings, maybe. Uh, why I'm asking this question is because suddenly there are not many people have started talking about philosophy. Suddenly there is this trend. Lot many people are integrating philosophy with science, science with philosophy. Many people are talking about free will. Many people are talking about the discussion on whether are we free or not. You just see automatically, even your YouTube timelines will show the talks like this. I'm sure आपको कहीं ना कहीं it might pop up the discussion, a simple discussion on philosophical aspect of life, and it's become so easy. Whatever I believe, to put out that thought in the open, just throw it and it will meet somebody randomly. It has become so easy, right? So I can have a crazy idea about life. I have not tested it. I just felt like it looks so fancy, so new, so path breaking. Let me just put it off. And suddenly, gradually, that idea becomes a reality. Like, simple thing. Taj Mahal was a temple, was a Hindu temple. It looks like a crazy idea, good one. Sells for a story. You sell a story, and suddenly there will be a population.
Do I only have a problem with the internet or that
I
I
think
cannot
No,
hear?
no,
no,
I think
we lost
he's,
him.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kapilji, the fact that you found a problem, you are a soul.
What did you say, Jignesh?
I said, Kapilji, that the fact that you found the problem it proves you are a soul.
As per Anubhavji example, probably much robot would have found the same issue that it's not working, video is not working, and it's very
No,
easy
no,
to
without
do it.
internet, robot would have switched off himself. So.
How we power it, it's a different thing. Maybe on a mobile backup or something. You never know. But
But
the question he is
mm,
asking is really, really, interesting and pertinent. What if we can create robots
Okay,
exactly
I think
like
Anuboji is back
humans?
here.
Oh, he's back.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes. So my question is out of concern when there is so much of information available to each one of us. Everybody's talking about big fancy words like philosophy, like daiv, bhavitavyata, serendipity, all the good words which attract us. You know, then it becomes very important that we keep ourselves aware of why we are on this journey. See, if somebody will ask me, what if we develop a robot which can 100 feel sorry for my hello,
Anuboji, you are breaking up.
yes,
Anubhavji,
my problems are
so
not being solved if you make
We cannot hear you.
Anubhavji, suggestion to switch your video off if you're struggling with bandwidth, please.
hello. Am I audible?
Yes, now.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I'm so because I don't know. I hope. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Anuboji, you're still breaking up.
Maybe turn your video off, Anubhavji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better? Sure. Hello. Is it better?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'll just try to conclude over here. Yeah. So I was just so much of information, so many of the a machine comes to life, maybe uh, a person telling us that okay, this is the how things work. A person telling us very interesting story of how it went by. Possible. Everything is possible. Correct. Very particular about is what happens in machine in whatever is world, right? My bottom line does not change, and that I today. And I suffer from my desires, I suffer from my attachments, aversion, suffer from accept unfolding itself in front of me. Correct? So long try to dilute, try to make deviate from the original problem. Original problem is not I'm original problem is that I'm unhappy, that I have the reasons for my own unhappiness, and I'm looking for ways in which my mind. Yes. So always we are always told about these possibilities tomorrow when a machine you because earlier before becoming humans they would have this liberty of knowing and not feeling, but now they will bear the cost of knowing and feeling. All the best to them. Knowing, feeling is what Bhagwan is. Correct. So therefore, this whole debate, this whole possibility of AI changing the dynamics, it will not change. It might be questioned that okay, whether I am soul or I am body, but whatever it is, I am. The I does not change, and I care for that I entity, and that I is the one who feels. And whoever feels, I am here to help that person that they feel it right, they feel it calmly, contentedly, they become happy, they choose joy over suffering. And if I can garner that wisdom and I can engineer my mind for it, I do not need any. Yes, very trending discussion these days, but I just wanted that we give that, even if it is said machines are doing this, does not change anything about me living, me thinking, me suffering. And our problem is ours, not of machines, not of technologies. Okay? If any questions are there, please you can ask. Else we'll stop here for today. I hope you guys read the story of Adina. I was Adinath Bhagwan is for the same reason. Took Diksha. He did tap for 6 months, and then after 6 months, he used to go out for ahar. Okay, Muniraj do ahar. And every day people would wonder why is he coming for, because he would not say what it is, what will make him happy. And everybody's offering him money, gold coins, wealth, all sorts of things. And at one, okay, this is how the ahar is offered to a monk. This often disturbs me. Adinath Muniraj was coming for food for next 6 months and was not getting any. Was he suffering or was he not suffering? This often troubles me, this thought. Like for 6 months, he chose to not eat by practicing his whole self discipline. But then after those 6 months fast, he started pursuing Ahar Charya on a daily basis. But he did not get anybody getting it right. He did not get anybody who know how to give Ahar. My question is, was he suffering when he was not getting Ahar for 6 months, or was he not? Was he happy or was he
Uh,
Um,
unhappy?
from from outside, maybe he was suffering. From inside, not.
if he was suffering, he would have broken his fast earlier. Probably it was to kind of put this tradition of it was for setting up the processes and the tradition of Ahar Sharia and all. Uh, he yeah, internally he was not suffering. Otherwise, he would have just found other ways to kind of relieve his suffering.
Okay, so this is why I find this thought very fascinating while we're discussing about living and the non-living. We said, is Adinath Bhagwan, is Adinath Muniraj living or non-living? So his body is non-living, he is living, his soul is living. This is what we did, the exercise in this chapter. Now, the suffering, the definition, the suffering is the work of the soul or the body. The body
So,
is non-living. It does not know. It does not suffer.
mhm.
Just like we have a malfunctioning machine, similarly, we have a body which is not working appropriately. And to get the repair and maintenance, we go to hospitals, right? This is the physical job done. This is the suffering of the body. The suffering of the soul is not in the pain offered by the body. The suffering of the soul lies in the attachment that the soul has with its body, with the things associated to this body. So why Nath Bhagwan is that it not only tells us the hardships of life, even Tirthankara for 6 months will not get food. Such a big thing, a Tirthankara on whose birth the Devas came from Swarga. He, after disowning everything, goes to take Diksha, and for 6 months, there is nobody who knows how to feed him. So the karmas spare no one. But the suffering of the soul does not body. This is the if I am not able body, if my body is not well, that does not mean I have to suffer because there is an option. If we know this art of differentiation between the body and the soul, this fact comes out that the external happenings do not dictate my suffering. It's the internalized training of the mind which will decide whether I will suffer or I will not. So he suffered from that thought that, okay, I need food, I should go and take ahar. But he did not suffer from not getting the ahar because he knew that it is not in my control. You're getting it? The suffering was to the extent of that vikalp, that thought that I should go out, which he did not have for first 6 months. So the suffering was the thought. It was not an act, not an unfolding of the karma. It was a thought that was entertained by the mind. So the soul suffering is also very crucial when we are trying to discuss about the living and the non-living, which we'll do in great detail in the other parts. The next chapter about the daily timetable, which is again the homework part. So you guys just can come reading it, and that's how we'll have this first part done, and we'll hopefully start with the last, like the second part of Balbodh in the next class. But I love this first part of Balbodh because it in itself includes everything. With Namokar Mantra in first four chapters, we knew what we have to idealize. And with this chapter of living and non-living, at one go, if we identify ourselves with this consciousness, all physical pain, all physical desires, all reasons of our suffering, they just perish away, they just disappear if we contemplate more on Jeeva and Ajeeva, the living and the non-living. Okay? आपके कोई भी please uh, contemplate on all the discussions we have had today. And if you have any questions, we'll start with the questions in the next class. So don't worry. I know it was too much, I think. And I'm sorry for the bad network, but I think we'll stop here today. Anyone who wants to ask anything can just put forth for a minute. Sure, we can do Janvani Stuti. Yes? Okay. We'll do Janvani Stuti. I'm sorry, Mokshmargasya Netaram's meaning. I'll start next class with that meaning only. Abhi we are doing Chinmaya Stuti. Okay. निज निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, के लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार